Hi everyone and welcome to Classic Gamer 74 episode 36 Food Games. I'm your host Anthony Ventrilo along with my friend Humphrey the Wolf. Hello. Today's episode was suggested by a longtime loyal viewer, Ash Miller, and also a very longtime friend of mine. And he's someone who loves to eat, so it makes perfect sense that he would suggest an episode about games about food. All of the games you will see in today's episode are about eating food, preparing food, serving food, fighting food, or defending food. That's about everything, isn't it? Oh, yes. All right. Way back in episode 1, I discussed the long-lost prototype of the game McDonald's. This game had been advertised years ago in the Parker Brothers catalog, but it was not discovered until a few years ago. In this game, you are Ronald McDonald trying to stop these aliens from eating the giant, golden arches, and your only weapon is shooting them with McDonald's food. Some aliens like certain types of foods and don't like others. So it's a real challenging, fast-paced game that I really enjoyed playing so much so, and was so excited about this game being discovered that I based my very first episode on this game. So we've said enough about this for the moment. If you'd like to learn more about it, go and check out episode number 1. I'll have the link in the description below. The first game we're going to talk about in today's episode is Fast Food from 1982 by Telesis. The game was programmed by Don Puffcorn, and it was extremely popular and readily available. So much so that I can honestly say just about everybody I knew, myself included, that had a 2600 had this game. The object of this game is to eat as much food as possible, but be careful and don't eat the purple pickles. With each new level, the food comes faster and faster and becomes harder to avoid. It's a really fun, fast-paced game that I enjoyed playing, and, alright, just like Anthony said, all my friends had the bloody game too, and so did I, and we all enjoyed it, especially since back in those days I could eat just about anything and not put on any weight. But anyway, a real fun game. Check it out if you haven't played it already. Next up, we have Pressure Cooker from Activision from 1983, programmed by Gary Kitchen. Although the game got a very high rating of 88%, it almost went completely ignored by Atari fans because of the video game crash of 83 and 84. However, years later, fans did kind of discover the game and it's become immensely popular. Alright, the object of this game is simple. You are going to be making hamburgers, and you have specific ingredients that you are to put on each of the burgers. Now, the ingredients will come flying out from the other side, and you have to grab the correct ingredients and put them on the sandwich, and then put the top bun on, and then you drop it down the correct chute. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the instructions that will show you exactly what type of hamburger the people ordered. Again, the first level is relatively easy. However, as time goes on, this game really lives up to its name. If you were able to get a score of 45,000 points, you could take a picture of the screen and mail it in to Activision, and they would send you this patch for the Short Order Squad. Next up, we have Pizza Chef, a game that went virtually unknown in the United States because it was never released here. Oh, that's true. As Humphrey had pointed out, this game was not released in the United States. However, it was released by a Brazilian game company called CCE, which basically was a game company that made bootlegs of already established games. The game was thought to have been programmed by a company called Zimag, which was another fly-by-night third-party game company. However, CCE was the company that released it. What you're looking at here is a fan's creation of what the game box may have looked like, as no copies of the game box are even known to exist. The cartridge itself also is generic, as the CCE company pretty much just put a similar label on all their games when released. Not only was the game not released in America, but when the ROM was discovered, people also discovered that the instruction manual was in Portuguese, and you don't speak it, do you? Not a word. So therefore, the instruction manual had to be translated, and once people figured out how to play the game, well, some people really liked it. It's kind of one of those games, either you really love it or you hate it. I happen to be a person that loves the game because I think it's more than just your typical space shooter or side scroller. It's actually a puzzle game, so let's check it out and see what you guys think. Alright, now in this game you are Chef Antonio and you are trying to make pizzas. You have to go into this room first and get the utensils that you need. Watch out and don't get knocked over by the waiters. Then you have to get the ingredients based on what you see in the kitchen. I'll give you a hint. The main ingredient for all the pizzas is going to be cheese. I just picked it up right there. And be careful, don't slip and fall on the ice. Honestly, I have never seen a freezer that messed up before. Yeah, I have. Anyway, so you have to cook. Oh, got knocked down. Those guys really take no notice of you. They'll just knock you down. Then you again head into the kitchen where you use your ingredients on the prep table on the right. See how you have 4 yellow ones? Those are 4 pieces of cheese. And then you have the gray piece. So when you head back over to the cooler, you will get the gray pieces as well, 4 gray pieces. Now there's none in there at the moment, but that wedge is the cheese. So, like I said, just follow the recipe with each new level and cook the pizza. You have 20 minutes to complete it in. So, if you'd like to see this game, the first level, of this game in its entirety, head over to my Facebook page and I'll show you exactly how to get through the first level. Also, as another word of warning, make sure that you turn the sound off on this game. I don't know why it is, but for some reason phone games always have annoying music and sound effects. Oh, and this one definitely does. So when you play this game, if you're smart, turn off the sound. Next up, we have Cakewalk from 1983 by Comavid, programmed by Irwin Gaines. This is actually a very rare and expensive game, probably the rarest and most expensive game on this list. However, unlike a lot of the rare games that I've discussed in previous videos, this one is actually fun. The object of this game is simple. You are to grab cakes as they come off the assembly line and send them up to the front of the, bakery. Now, some of the cakes can come very, very fast, but you have the ability to actually stop the conveyor belt for a couple seconds and speed it up if you need to. So, if the cake isn't coming fast enough, speed it up. If they're coming too quickly, stop it. Quite a fun game. A lot of people that have played this really enjoy it, myself included. Some people actually compare this game to Tapper. Well, Tapper in reverse, actually. Next up, we have Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes from 20th Century Fox, programmed by John Russell in 1983. Alright, the object of this game is to trap the tomato plants at the bottom of the screen by building 3 walls above them. 3 walls of specific color, green, pink, and yellow. At the same time, you must avoid or shoot down all flying tomatoes, dodge tomato bombs, and stop the brick eaters. Really fun game. Really cool puzzle game. I had never played this game up until a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it. However, this is a long game that will take you quite a while just to beat the first level. So if you'd like to see the first level beaten in its entirety, head over to my Facebook page and check it out. And our final game for today is Food Fight on the Atari 7800. Originally, Food Fight was an arcade game created by Atari that made very little impact in the gaming world. Although the game was lots of fun, it wasn't until it was ported to the Atari 7800 that people began to notice this game and pretty much lost their minds over it. Alright, in this game you take on the role of Charlie Chuck, a bad little schoolboy who is pretty much living every school kid's dream, and that is to have a food fight. In this game, you are throwing food at these disgruntled chefs and trying to get to the ice cream cone on the other side before it melts. You get all kinds of different foods: spinach, tomatoes, watermelons, you pretty much name it, it's here. And you gotta look out for those chefs that they'll throw food back at you, and sometimes you may fall in those pits that they come out of. The action is really fast-paced, it's lots of fun, there's a couple Easter eggs in the game, and you even get an instant replay. An instant classic if I've ever seen one. Alright, now this is the level you really get to cut loose on, because if you remember the earlier levels, you run out of food. Guess what? In this one, you never run out of watermelon, so you can just throw food to your heart's content. Well, of course, make sure you don't, miss the ice cream. But yeah, you can just throw food like crazy. Cut loose. And this is usually the level that you get an instant replay on. Brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you have an idea for a particular game or genre of games you'd like to see us talk about on this channel, let us know in the comments section below, and it probably will become the subject of an episode, just like today's episode was. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it, and again, this is Anthony Ventrilo, and I'm Humphrey the Wolf, and we will see you all in the next episode. Until then, have yourself a great day. Goodbye. Goodbye.